I'm Miles Martin. This is the final video showing the finished work of creating a commemorative coin for Nenana, Alaska. The other two videos can be found on my website or my YouTube list. And this video covers after the casting. The other two cover the design and the actual casting. So you could see the molten metal is in the plaster, and here it's coming out of the plaster. I have to dunk it in cold water. And you might notice that I'm holding there about a 500-degree canister. I keep moving my hands, keep dunking it in the water. That's how I'm able to do that. I know that's not possible, so we're just moving right along here. And my friend Kat came up with the idea and the dream to create a coin and asked me to do it. So here I am removing the metal from the plaster, showing how that's done in the process of how casting is done. I knock the metal out. It's still hot. I put it in the water. It's hard to remove the plaster because it chemically bonds at almost 2,000 degrees to the metal. To help remove the plaster, I put it in chemicals, boil it, and before I can even put it in the tumbler. I get enough plaster off, I use a metal cutter and cut the coins off the part called the tree, separate everything, keep removing the plaster before I get it in the tumbler. Notice that I'm using a water jet tool, and it's used in the dry cleaning industry to clean spots out of fabric, and I discovered this tool that helps me. And so I want to remove as much plaster as I can before I put it in the tumbler. That's what I'm doing here. And then I get it ready, put in the tumbler with some grit. This is the same grit and tumbler I would use for polishing the rocks that I slice, so it's a universal tumbler I use for a lot of things. I could do all this by hand, but the tumbler saves a lot of hand work. There's a certain amount of roughness in the casting, final bits of plaster that have to come off, and burrs and bubbles and things along that line. I have about a half an hour into making each coin by the time I'm done. This is the time I get to see the coin for the first time with minimal plaster on it. I kind of know what it is I have to work with at this point. Kat and I knew from the beginning this was not going to be an end product that looked like it came from a factory like the Franklin Mint. This was going to be like it would have been made 100 years ago, which we're commemorating. To use copper from underneath our school and bronze from barge propellers. We contracted this out to somebody else. It wouldn't be possible to use our metals, partly because it wouldn't be legal. There would be a liability about what is in that metal and will it pass inspection. And so keeping the project local makes it a very Nenana end product. We also feel that Nenana's history is about innovative people who built a railroad, built a pipeline, built a road across a river that was all almost impossible to do, and somebody got it in their head to make it happen. And so here I am doing a dance and taking a lot of credit all by myself here, showing that even at 70 years old you can love what it is that you're doing. So copper is not normally cast, it's stamped, and some people say it can't even be done because the hot metal dissolves the plaster that can't handle the temperature. And so here are the coins next to the original made out of rubber to show the contrast. And here are a pile of coins that Kat has hand polished, and she's getting ready to give them away. Kat and I usually work alone, but here is one of her beads. She loves melting things like me, only she works with glass. So this is showing where this coin is made. This is my sign in a small community of Nenana. This is what my shop looks like in the wintertime when I'm working. Kat and I both support repurposing, recycling, minimalizing, and getting done within the community what needs to get done, and hope this inspires others.